So, guys, today I want to talk about the future of movies and entertainment. The rise of streaming services and the currently happening streaming wars between giants like Netflix and Disney and HBO and other participants like Hulu, something like that, is going to bring a huge implications on how we are going to enjoy big blockbuster movies in the future. And because of this pandemics, there are a lot of big blockbuster movies that are launched exclusively on streaming services. Films like Mulan and also Bloodshot are were launched in streaming services, and yet so far, I think none of them are great in terms of sales compared to if you launch it on the theaters. But the pandemic is going to be over, eventually. Life is going to go back to normal, and we're going to go to the theaters anytime soon. The problem is, what's the future of? Is there any future of like something like that again? Like big blockbuster movie exclusively launched on streaming services? And if there's so, how's that future look like? So today, I think we're going to talk about that. So you gotta remember that blockbuster movies are expensive to make. They go like what 200, 300, 200, 300,000, 200, 300 million dollars in making, and they're gonna have to make up for it in sales ticket, and that sometimes doesn't even include marketing cost, which is if a lot these days people studios pour a lot of money in marketing to get hype and attention, and sometimes even great movies like 2044, Blade Runner, uh, Blade Runner 2044, the great movie, poor ticket sales because you know, it's a great movie, but people don't just understand about it. But anyway, uh, if that's the case, is there the future of big blockbuster movies and streaming services? I think the answer would be no for now, because as much as people are binging for streaming services right now, people just still love to go to the theaters and spend some times. If we're set aside pandemics for a while, we gotta understand that being in the theaters is not just about enjoying the movies. This kind of like experience. It's got better speakers than in your house. It's got better, bigger screen. You go to theaters for some occasions like dating or just having fun, something like that. Um, what I see right now, interesting thing is that we're going to see a lot of kind of like fail big blockbuster movie are going to go to the streaming services. I think uh, it's already happened. Like Bloodshot, Bloodshot was launched when the pandemics just started to happening around the world. Even then, when it was launched in theaters, it's not really doing well. The movie sucks. Vin Diesel's alone cannot save the movie, and it goes to show that streaming services is going to be something like a last resort for producers to sell their movies and hopefully gain some break even with their movies. But in the future, I think the more people are using streaming services, the more likely big blockbuster movies are going to be in streaming services. You gotta remember that Netflix, the biggest streaming service in the world right now, it's not even that big if you compare to the whole populations of people who actually have their hands on internet. So if say that maybe 50% of people in the entire world using streaming services, then streaming service becomes something huge enough for them to actually buy big blockbuster movie or to cover the production of big blockbuster movies. Right now, I think we're in the place when yes, Netflix pour a lot of money for big director to build whatever they to create whatever movie they want, But huge movies like Avengers or DC heroes or big other big blockbuster movies, they're not going to go to streaming service anytime soon because of the customers. So my take is this: I think because of the pandemics, people start to go to subscribe with streaming services, and I think there's two implications that's going to happen in 2021 if things are going to go back to the way it was. It means that I think there's a there's a possibility that people are not canceling their subscription. They could just go to the theaters, something like that. And the other implication is that people already comfortable having Netflix. They being watch Netflix series, something like that, or Disney Plus. And once the pandemic is over, they don't feel like canceling their subscription. They feel like, well, I'm comfortable watching Netflix, something like that. I'm going to subscribe. So there's two implications, and whatever implication is that the future of streaming is going to be big. It's going to be huge, and I think in the next even 3 or 4 years, not even that long, we're going to see big blockbuster movies exclusively on a certain streaming services. It's a possibility, something that we cannot ignore. Streaming wars happening right now. Whoever wins, whoever is going to come up win, whoever is going to come up as a winner on that streaming wars. Most likely Disney, but I don't know. I don't know. Amazon is a huge company like Amazon Prime, but I think Disney is going to win. But don't take my word. But anyway, whoever is going to win the streaming wars, they have a lot of subscription. Those are the streaming service there's going to bring big blockbuster movie into their streaming services. It's a possibility. And even like what Netflix does to like Irishman, they came out to any director and said, make whatever you want to make. They're burning monies right now on Netflix, but I think in the future it's going to be something usual. Sometimes maybe Disney Plus came to a famous director and say, well, here's the money, we're gonna want to make some movies, big blockbuster movies, please make it for us, something like that. Even Avengers could be in streaming services exclusively. So is it a grim future that we're solely to rely on streaming services? Perhaps, but I think theaters is not going to die anytime soon. It's something, like I said before, we're going to theaters on an occasion. So we're opening Netflix, some point, most likely because we just want to watch movies. We're bored, we just want to watch movies, but going to the theaters is an occasion. We're going to go there with someone we love, something like that. It's an occasion that is on purpose. And I think it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, I think. So, back, so just, I heard this today that the Warner Brothers, I don't care, say that their entire 2021 movie lineup is going to launch on HBO Max and the theaters simultaneously. It's a huge news. But it's more like to save the HBO. It's not because of the pandemic. They can't actually wait, for releasing movies, big movies. We're talking about huge movies, blockbusters like what Wonder Woman 1984, even Dune, Matrix 4 reportedly are going to be on HBO Max and theaters simultaneously. This is a huge news, and I think it's not because of the pandemics. I've heard other YouTubers comments on this. They say on Midnight's Edge channel, they say that this is not something that to because of the pandemics. It's because HBO Max is struggling right now to compete against the Disney Plus and Netflix, something like that. So they want to bring something. I think it's something like, well, for the whole year, subscribe to us, and for the whole year you can watch every of our blockbuster movies. I think that's the interesting thing, but I think it's not going to save HBO Max. There need contents like Netflix, what Netflix provided, like uh, I don't know, the Queen's Gambit, and series, Netflix series. I don't really watch a lot of Netflix series, but they're so interesting. It's like people just want to binge watch Netflix because of those series. It's just amazing, and you got everything for everyone. Meanwhile, in HBO Max, they don't really have anything, and HBO is just so confusing. They have HBO Go, they have HBO Now. I don't even know. I used to subscribe to HBO Go, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't even sure right now. And they also have DC Universe streaming services for DC content. So why not combine all of that? What kind of confuses me is that HBO just take a different path, like Disney. Disney just brings everything that they have, Pixar, the Disney itself, the Fox, and the ESPN, something like that, combined to one service, and that is why they have a lot of subscription, because yes, there's something for everyone in there. I think that's exactly what HBO needs to do: continuous content for everyone. And just releasing this big blockbuster movie, I think it's not going to save them. It's going to make them, interesting, headline making. Wonder Woman 1984, a big blockbuster movie coming to HBO Max. People are going to be like, what? It's a big blockbuster movie. We should watch it in theater, something like that. It's hard. And we're not even talking about the, agreement. Why would any theaters wants to show a movie while people could also watch it on streaming services? They're not going to bring a lot of money, of sales, ticket sales, something like that. I think it's a problem for another day, and I think the approach that they take is that the theaters, the theater launch will be limited and on several countries, and the HBO Max is not even available in every country right now. So maybe countries that don't have HBO Max, they're going to have a theaters launch, but it's another discussion for another time. So the future is closer than we thought it would be. It's interesting to see whether Disney and Netflix will do the same thing. Maybe because of this pandemics, people selling their, uh, a lot of studios are going to sell their big blockbuster movies. So far, No Time to Die, it's been on the air, but right now, there's been offer like $300 million, if I'm not mistaken, for No Time to Die available on streaming services, but so far none has taken MGM's offer, which is, well, considerable, because $300 is a lot of money. Netflix, they could pour a lot of money, of course, but even at their more affordable contents like series and even small indie movies, they could still reap a lot of customers in their subscription services. So the question remains, when this future of blockbuster on your streaming is going to happen. Not in a close, but I believe that's the future that we're going to have. Getting access to, the thing is about entertainment. It's not just about how good it is, how good is the quality of the content itself, but also how to get it. How we able to access it. The easier we could get our hands on, the more people are going to watch. The easier we can share it with our friends, and they can also watch it. It's going to create a hype, and people are going to watch it eventually, even though it's not, not going to win an Emmy or a Golden Globe, something like that. That's the future of contents and entertainment in particular, and that is why Quibi failed, because it's not for this generations. It's designed by someone that is, I would say, not in touch with today's generations. Even I do not in touch with the latest generations that really binge for easy content that just one swipe away. I think that's homework for a lot of studios, that yeah, you can have great movies, but is it accessible? Is it watchable? Is everyone is going to enjoy it? I think that's the future. future of content. So I think that's it for today, for my kind of discussions. The thing is that HBO Max is not even here in my country, in Indonesia. I really wanted to try HBO Max, see their library, something like that. And even they have HBO Go in here. Doesn't really have a lot of content. It's not pleasant to watch, to have. You don't really come back to HBO Go for their contents. I was watching Game of Thrones, if I'm not mistaken, the last season. That is why I subscribe. So HBO need to up their games in big countries, like developing countries like Indonesia, China, India, with huge populations, to grab local content like Disney Plus done in here. But that's discussion for another time. I just can't wait for 2021 when theaters open so I can watch movies again. Can't wait for No Time to Die, Wonder Woman, Black Widow, and some other movies that I really want. I can even Dune. I really like to watch Dune. They say it's the next Star Wars. I'm so a Star Wars fanboy, something like that. But anyway, if you have something to say, you want to have discussion, just comment on the comment section below. Like, don't subscribe, subscribe if you wanted to. And if you like this content, yeah, just like, I would create more something like this. And I think that's it. Catch you guys in my next video. Bye.